Yeah, violins is an interesting one. I stumbled across it at the open day at Merton College, and I thought once I saw everybody working there, I thought, wow, this is definitely something for me. It was really at a young age I got into woodworking in the shed with my dad, just making anything I could really, little toy planes, little swords, something like that. And then from there, once I found out that I could make a living out of woodworking, I thought, this is great. This is definitely for me a kind of a childhood passion. The wood that we use is very important. It's all grown in high mountain areas. Most of it nowadays is grown in Bosnia. It grows up in high areas where the air is thinner, so the trees grow slower, which means the grain lines are a lot tighter. You get a nice, strong, even wood from it. The making side is a lot more chisels, gouges, planes, quite kind of traditional woodworking tools that I can use to form the complex shapes. But then when we come into repairing instruments, I need a lot more specialist equipment. A lot of these are difficult to find and to buy, so most of them come from Europe, Germany and the Netherlands. Sometimes I have to make up my own little tools as well. Like I've had to make up just a small light so I can see inside a violin properly. There's nothing like this on the market, so we end up having to think of ways to make things for ourselves. The people that come in, it varies quite a lot. Sometimes they'll come in and they've dropped their instrument and they're in quite a bit of distress. They get a lot of emotional attachment to their instruments, and it always ends up on me to be the one to calm them down and tell them that everything will be all right. This is their lifeline, their instruments, and I have to make sure that the repair is done to a very high standard and that won't affect the sound of their instrument. But some customers I come in and they have pride over breaking their instruments, and they're always very scared of me having to take apart their instrument to be able to fix it properly. They're always very inquisitive to whether it will change the sound of it or not, which it doesn't usually, but it's very difficult to explain that to them. I think making a violin takes about 150 hours. Some processes take a lot longer than the other. Thicknessing the plates and arching them, they take the longest. A very crucial stage in making a violin. It does have quite an effect on the sound, so you really need to make sure you know what you're doing to get it right. Otherwise you could put all that time into making an instrument and it turns out not to be how you hoped it to be. This doesn't usually happen, but it's nice to put in a lot of time just to make sure that everything works out well. My favourite part of making a violin is actually carving the scroll. It's quite a nice, fun job you can do. You can put as much artistic flair as you want into it, and it's just a nice job that you can do sitting on the bench with your traditional gouges, carving away at it. It's a relatively quick job as well. Yeah, it's just a good bit of fun to really kind of carve out a piece of wood. One of the things that makes my job so difficult is having the right patience. Sometimes you can spend a lot of time just with your head working inside a cello for months and months, or trying to piece back the front of a violin, stud it up together. And you also need a lot of dexterity to be able to varnish in certain crack lines. And we work to high tolerances. Mostly what I work to is about a 1/10 of a millimetre. So you really need to know how the wood cuts and how the wood works to be able to have a finished product to the precise measurements. I thought I knew quite a lot when I finished college, but then actually when I started in the real world, working in London, I realised how little I know, and I realised how long it would take me to become a proper violin repairer and maker. And it's a job that you never really stop learning. That's what makes it so fun and interesting. I could go on for another 50 years and I'll still be learning new techniques. So it really doesn't get boring, this job.